Hi, karibu sana. Welcome back, guys. It is another time and another space for us to relearn and unlearn and dive into the emotions around trying to conceive, infertility, and everything wrapped up in between. And today we'd like to dive into the questions that have been asked, and we value your feedback, guys. Thank you so much for your constant interaction. It actually gives us space and a time for us to get to understand you guys as well and what exactly you want us to talk about. And so today we want to answer this one question that was asked by one of you. How, why do I feel sad or jealous when someone announces pregnancy?
Good. It's a very honest question, and yeah, it's very honest. And I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate the authenticity in that question. Now, I think first of all, I'd like us to distinguish between jealousy and envy from a psychological point of view. Many times we use the words interchangeably, but they actually are slightly different. So now, jealousy has often has to do with a relationship that we value being us feeling that a relationship we value is being threatened. So it could be in a marriage and there's a third party or someone your partner is giving attention to, and then you feel jealous about that. It could also be now between your mom or your parents and your siblings. You might feel your parents are favoring your siblings. In a friend group, you might feel your best friend is paying more attention to a different friend of yours. So point is, it's a triangle. There is this relationship that you value, and there is now, so this relationship has two people, and then there's that third person you feel is threatening, is coming to threaten this valuable relationship. Envy, on the other hand, does not have the aspect of triangulation. There is no triangle because it's just you and the person with the thing or the resource that you would love to have that you do not have. Yeah. So essentially, what the viewer is asking, what this valued viewer is asking, is envy. Why does she feel envy when she hears someone's pregnancy announcement? Because now there is longing for what someone else has. There is a comparison, that my life compared to someone else their life seems to be going better for them because they have something that I don't. Yes.
Well, I really, really love that you have explained that, and it is very insightful to actually know there's a difference between jealousy and envy. And so I believe that most people, we have others who are jealous because it involves people, and then we have others who are envious because of what they feel like they need to have and they don't have. So we can dive in just by saying the reason as to why you feel envious. It is normal. This is a normal emotional thing to feel, and it is, and normally it underlines. One thing that I've come to learn is that most of the emotions that we feel is an underlying. It's a secondary emotion to what really you actually feel.
Right.
True. So when you are envious, you need to ask yourself, what is it that is making me envious? And in this situation, it is you not being able to conceive, you not being pregnant yet. So the fact that you are self-aware, I really, really like to begin with self, because
Yeah.
self, without you being aware of yourself, you cannot understand. I cannot understand you without understanding myself. So once you are aware that I am jealous because I cannot have this thing, then this would bring us to a point of the fact that you don't have this thing yet, or the fact that you are not pregnant at this particular moment. It means that you you don't it can be articulated to a loss, because you don't have this thing, so you have lost something that you have never had, and that is a very complex emotion all around it, and once you acknowledge that, then that is a step to the right direction.
Indeed, then you're able to move forward. Moving forward to just, first of all, understanding what you mentioned, that it's normal. Envy is a normal response to not having what it is you'd love to have. So you're not a horrible person for feeling envious. You're not a horrible person for feeling bad that your friend has gotten pregnant and you haven't. You're not a horrible person for feeling that. So understanding that you can be happy for them and feel bad for yourself all at the same time. That these two things can coexist. Yeah. So number one, you're not a bad person for feeling how you feel. Secondly, understanding that there is two types of envy, that there is benign envy and malicious envy. And I trust that what you're feeling is not malicious, or I encourage us to always inspect ourselves, inspect that envy, because envy in itself is not a bad thing. It's not in itself is not a bad thing or a harmful thing. Our response to it, our expression of it, is what will determine whether it's socially acceptable or not. So if it's benign envy that I just really would love to have what they have, then good. But if you begin to feel a sense of malice, a sense of bringing people down, then really we need to check ourselves. Yeah.
Well, just like she has said, in case this is the first time someone is gets to hear the word benign envy and malicious type of envy. When you're speaking about benign envy, it is when you are motivated, you are envious, but this envy in itself has given you that fuel to actually now want it.
Yeah.
And when you have this malicious envy, it's when now you have all these negative emotions that is making you want to like pull this person down to make their life miserable.
Yeah.
So as long as you are feeling this, the first envy, then you're okay. You can now stop feeling shame, because the emotion around you feeling envious and not jealous is because you're afraid to actually say that you're ashamed that you feel this towards somebody. And another point that I'd like to emphasize is, most of the time we feel envious towards people around us. You can never feel envious over of a neighbor, because every day you see someone passing here, they are pregnant. But that feeling does not intensify. Same, and this cuts across all borders. You can be feeling envious maybe because your sister-in-law had something, or maybe your cousin, just people around you. And so once you're able to be aware that envy happens with close people.
Oh, but it's more intense when it's related to people people in your life, people with close proximity to you.
So now you are able to actually know the reason as why these feelings are more intense, because these are people you love.
Yeah.
These are people you actually connect with, and me seeing how it's something would intensify that thing, and you might think that you are a bad person, but no. Try and acknowledge it and sit with it and internalize it, and know that this is a normal feeling.
Indeed, it's a normal response to the situation that you're in. Now, something very important to unpack when we're talking about envy and trying to conceive is a concept of social comparison. Because realize that envy exists when I compare my life to the next person, which again is normal. It's a very human thing to do. However, in the how can I overcome, in the how can I grow from a point of how can I, okay, I'm avoiding to say how can I stop being envious. I'm avoiding to use that phrase, but however you want to package it, how can I move from feeling envious to just feeling content? It begins with evaluating your comparison, your social comparison. So if I'm constantly looking at other people's lives, constantly comparing myself unfavorably against their life, then indeed envy will keep increasing and increasing. But if I make time to sit and um, be grateful for what I have, rather make it a habit, make gratitude a habit, that fine, I'm yet to conceive, but I'm enjoying the fact that I have this and I have that, that conscious reminder of my life is actually okay, that gratitude.
Well, uh, that has just brought something to my mind when you talked about mm, comparison.
Mm.
This when you're comparing yourself to one person, that means that you are making everything, this situation, your whole identity.
Mm.
You don't need to have something to hold yourself to the highest regard.
Mm.
This is a very important thing that we should always tell ourselves when it comes to matter of comparing ourselves to others. Just because someone has conceived earlier than you, just
Yeah.
because someone has something that you do not have yet,
Mm.
it doesn't necessarily mean that they are more or you are less.
Mm.
And also you don't need to make this your whole thing. Like your life now is centered on I need I need this to happen. I need this to happen. Because when now you are thinking about it in that sense, you are there's an urgency that you are bringing up, and this in turn alerts your brain, and now your brain starts to monitor and see everything around, and you end up making this your whole being,
Mm.
and this does not make things better. Rather, it actually makes you now just start spiraling all down.
Indeed, and this really applies to the desire for marriage. It
Mm,
applies to a promotion in your career, etc. When the chase becomes, when what you're chasing is all you're focused on, then you miss the entire journey.
yeah.
You miss being here and now, being present for the whole journey. And the more you compare yourself, and society, again, last time we said, one of our episodes, we said society is us, yeah? Society.
Mm,
Society does not make it easier. With the when are you gonna conceive, with the when are you getting married, you just hit 30, it doesn't make it easier because that intensifies the feeling. However, drawing a boundary around yourself, that what, this is the kind of conversation I will allow, these are the kind of thoughts I'll allow, these are the kind of conversations I'll allow around me, and these are the ones that I just won't have. That creating a border, drawing a line and a border around yourself protects your energy, protects your emotional energy, so that you're not surrounding yourself with people who are bringing you down, people who are intensifying. Like you're already struggling with voices in your head, comparing, like you're
mm,
trying to overcome that. And then you go further and add people, friends who keep making you feel worse. No, you have the agency, the what, the freedom to
mhm.
choose, the independence and freedom to choose who's around you and who speaks into your life, and even the content on your socials that you're gonna consume. Because every time I've been in a position, and I know the next and the next person would attest to this, every time I've been in a position of maybe I would like a white wedding, or maybe I'd like the next and the next thing. If it's not happening yet, and that's all the content I'm consuming. Every day I'm
Mm.
looking at weddings, every day I'm looking at baby showers, then it will make me feel even worse. So that boundary, that protecting your mind, protecting your energy is very important, and it's your responsibility.
I truly, truly love that concept of boundaries. And one thing that I'd like to say to anyone this in this situation, if you are going through it, setting boundaries either with families, either with friends, or just even your co-workers, it is not a form of disrespect to anyone. Setting boundaries, rather, it is a form of respect to yourself.
Yes, yes.
It is a form of self-worth
Mm.
to yourself. So ensure that you are self-compassion.
Mm.
If you need to pour into yourself, and if you need to set boundaries with your best friend, then go for it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And this in turn would reduce that sense of envy.
Mm.
And just like she has said, just to maybe wrap it up, in everything, choose what you want.
Mm-hmm.
If it is social media, you can mute those updates about pregnancies. Truly, if you need to maybe take a day off,
Mm-hmm.
just not to think about trying to conceive. Think about what it is that you do not have, and this cuts across all borders. Whatever situation that you are in, ensure that you start with yourself.
Indeed. And I just like to emphasize that we all have autonomy and agency, power to determine the kind of life we want to live. Because many people are stuck feeling that life is happening to them, everything's just happening to me. But just that realization that, wait a minute, I do have control, I do have power to determine the content I'm consuming, the friends I'm hanging out with, the trajectory of my life, yeah? And going after it, taking that step, watching this podcast and the next, or reading a book related, or just doing something to achieve that goal that you have set, that kind of life you want to live.
And if you guys don't get out of this episode with anything, I'd like to overemphasize what she has said. You need to look at what you can control and what you cannot control.
Yeah.
So, what you have control holds weight more than what you cannot control. And what does what you have control look like? You can control your thoughts, you can control your feelings, you can control how you respond to people. What you cannot control is the opinions of others concerning your life. What you cannot control is how others speak to you. But what you can do is create that boundary, and that in turn is good for your overall wellness. And that is what we are trying to achieve with us being here today.
Right.
So thank you so much for tuning in, and we are really grateful when you guys interact with us in the comment section, and we are looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you.